There's one place that doesn't cooperate, and it's the illegitimate regime in Venezuela. Not only do they not cooperate with us, they openly cooperate with terrorist and criminal elements. For example, they invite Hezbollah in Iran to operate from their territory. But they also allow the ELN and the FARC dissidents not just to operate from inside of Venezuelan territory, to control Venezuelan territory, unencumbered, unimpeded.
A stark warning from Washington and a dangerous line left deliberately uncrossed. U.S. President Donald Trump says he is not ruling out war with Venezuela. Not now, not in the future, not at all. In an interview with NBC News, Trump made clear that military conflict remains an option as tensions between the United States and Venezuela continue to escalate. The comments come as Washington ramps up pressure on Caracas, seizing sanctioned oil tankers, tightening enforcement at sea, and choking off a key lifeline of Venezuela's economy, oil exports. Asked directly if war was possible, Trump's answer was blunt: "I don't rule it out." Trump also warned that more tanker seizures are coming. There is no fixed timeline. It depends, he said. If they're foolish enough to be sailing along, they'll be sailing along back into one of our harbors. Trump declined to say whether removing Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was his ultimate goal. Instead, he offered a cryptic response. "He knows exactly what I want. He knows better than anybody." In Caracas, President Nicolas Maduro has accused the United States of economic warfare and aggression, warning that Venezuela will not surrender under pressure.
We are adhering to our own established principles. We are standing here on our own land. We are fully within our rights, and we are defending the most sacred thing that a country can possibly possess. That is the fundamental right to a future for all its children, for its young boys and girls, for all its families, and for its entire people. War, we have unequivocally stated that our answer is no. And here, within the United States, the overwhelming majority of the entire population is completely and utterly opposed to any form of military intervention. They're saying in the United States, interventionism must finally come to an end. Simply, it's a warmongering and colonialist claim. And we've said it many times. And now, everyone sees the truth. The truth has been revealed. In Venezuela, they seek a regime change to impose a puppet government that wouldn't last even 47 hours, that would hand over the Constitution, our sovereignty, and all of our nation's wealth, and turn Venezuela into a colony. Quite simply, that will never, ever happen. Never, never in its entire history will Venezuela be a colony of anything or of anyone, ever.
The moment is striking because Trump has long portrayed himself as a president who avoids foreign wars. During the 2024 campaign, he promised to keep America out of new conflicts. And after winning the election, he declared, "I'm not going to start wars. I'm going to stop wars." Now that promise is being tested. The administration says the strikes have targeted alleged drug boats, accusing Venezuela of using oil revenue to finance what it calls drug terrorism. But critics warn the line between enforcement and escalation is growing dangerously thin. For now, Washington has stopped short of declaring war, but by refusing to rule it out, the U.S. president has sent a clear signal that diplomacy, pressure, and force are all still on the table. And as tensions rise in the Caribbean, one question hangs heavily over the region. Is this a warning meant to deter or a prelude to something far more dangerous?
When it comes to the Western Hemisphere, the single most serious threat to the United States from the Western Hemisphere is from transnational terrorist criminal groups, primarily focused on narco trafficking, but they're in all sides businesses as well. So the good news is we have a lot of countries in the region that openly cooperate and work with us to confront these challenges. Mexico, their level of cooperation with us is the highest it's ever been in their history. Throughout Central America, for the most part, except for maybe Nicaragua and to some extent Honduras, we've had great cooperation from Ecuador, from El Salvador, from Ecuador being in South America, but across the Pacific coast where we're also undertaking efforts. Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama, these are all nations that cooperate with us openly in search of stability in the region. You move to the Caribbean basin, in Trinidad, in Guyana, in Jamaica, in the Dominican Republic, countries that openly cooperate with us. Even Colombia, despite its unusual president, has institutions in that country that work very closely with us, and those ties remain unimpeded and unaffected. So all of this is very positive. There's one place that doesn't cooperate, and it's the illegitimate regime in Venezuela. Not only do they not cooperate with us, they openly cooperate with terrorist and criminal elements. For example, they invite Hezbollah in Iran to operate from their territory. But they also allow the ELN and the FARC dissidents not just to operate from inside of Venezuelan territory, to control Venezuelan territory, unencumbered, unimpeded. On top of that, we know that they are in cahoots with drug trafficking organizations. It's not just that they don't work with us against these organizations. Okay? It's that they openly, cooperate with these guys and allow them to operate. So these guys are, marching in and out, doing whatever they want from Venezuelan territory, and it's a challenge. And so that's why that's received so much attention. But I would urge you to not just focus on that, but also focus on all the other things we're doing in the region, including, for example, standing up this gang suppression force in Haiti, which we were looking for 5,500 forces. We already have pledges of up to 7,500 forces from a variety of countries. We've seen donors step up to fund that effort. That's a very important effort. It all ties together cohesively. But the goal here is to bring security and stability to the hemisphere, to the region we live in, okay, which has not received enough attention. To bring the elements of American power to achieve that, to do it in partnership with as many countries as are willing to work with us in that regard. That's the goal here, and it's comprehensive and involves more than just one place. What makes Venezuela stand out is that the regime there actually cooperates with the terrorists.